terrorists win.
Alright guys, today we're going to talk about radios. There's several different radios at your disposal in airsoft or Milsim, and I'm going to go over some of them that I've used, some of them I still use, and just let you know what some of your options are. Okay, first off, when using radios in airsoft Milsim capacity, you're talking about FRS frequencies. That stands for Family Radio Service. It's a series of frequencies under the UHF band that the federal government has set aside that anybody can use. Okay. Your most basic radio you can buy is a Motorola Talkabout. Looks like this. There's lots of different models. You can pick them up just about anywhere. They're really simple to use. They're really reliable, and they cost about 80 bucks for a pack of 2 of them. They come with a rechargeable battery, but those batteries tend to wear out after a while. Personally, I don't use the rechargeables because they don't really last very long, but you can run them on 3 AA's. And on 3 AA's you'll get about 12 hours of gameplay out of them, so a long time. Also, if you go on eBay, you can find people who their rechargeable battery went dead, and they sell them real cheap. They sell them for 10-20 bucks for a set. All you gotta do is buy some AA batteries, and there you go, off to the races. You got a great radio for airsoft purposes. It's a 1.5 watt, has a range theoretically line of sight of 2 miles, but realistically it's a couple hundred yards in terrain, which is more than enough. This is what I started with in airsoft. I still use this all the time at smaller games, and for 95% of the players out there, this will serve all your needs just fine. Real basic, hard to screw up. Okay, you want something a little more advanced, a little more rugged, and go with the ICOM. ICOM is a Japanese company. These are older radios, but you can buy them used all over the place. This model is a little bit nicer. This is the F32, but their basic model is the F21. The difference is the F32 has a screen, and you can have some more options with changing channels and whatnot, but they're basically the same thing. These cost about 100 bucks, but they're very rugged, a great battery life, and they're extremely reliable radios. A little heavier than your standard radio for airsoft, but it's just a great radio. The one thing that's not really ideal about them is you do have to program them, which means you got to find somebody with a programming cable in the software and program the FRS channels into these, which can kind of be a pain. Also, this is a stronger radio watt-wise. This is a 5 watt radio, and if you're playing by the rules, you got to get your federal license to use this at games. Most people don't do that, but if you want to obey the law to the letter of the law, get your license. You can just Google how to do it. But honestly, I think the federal government's got better things to do than to go after you for not having your license. And then you have the Baofeng, which is basically what I use now. These are really neat radios. They're really affordable. They cost 35 to 40 bucks. And there's a lot of options on them, similar to the ICOM, but the nice thing is you don't need a programming cord, the software, to program these. You can just program them right here on the screen. You can go on YouTube. There's lots of videos showing you how to program them, and you can program in your FRS frequencies and then just be good to go. Also has a lot of neat features that other radios don't have, like the ICOM. You can listen to 2 radio channels at the same time. You can talk on 2 channels at the same time. You can switch between channels very quickly. So if you have a command channel and also a squad channel, this is perfect for you. It's good for game admins who are running several channels at the same time. It's just a great radio with lots of options. It also has a power setting for low and high. So on low it's 1.5 watts, on high it's 5. So if you want to stick to your low watt where you don't need your license, this is the radio for you. I have had a couple issues with them as far as durability goes. The first radio I bought, the port right here for the microphone didn't work, which basically made it useless for me. I needed something I could actually use a hand mic for, so I actually had to buy another one, but at $35 you really can't beat the price, and it's still cheap Chinese shit, so eventually it will break, but if you get a couple of years out of it, you're way ahead of the game. If you want something more durable, I'd go with the ICOM. Brings us to the next topic: how are you going to use it? What kind of headset or handset you're going to use? Most basic thing you can buy is a little prime handset like this. These are great. They cost about 20 bucks and they're actually pretty reliable. It's kind of the way to go. All you gotta do is buy this, plug it into your radio, and you're off to the races. If you want to get a little more advanced, you buy an ear tube like this one I have set up on this rig that attaches to that prime radio. Stick that in your ear and then nobody can hear your transmissions. All in, this is probably the most reliable, simplest way to set up your comms, and this is the way I run most of the time. The more advanced way to do things is you get a headset like so, and a push to talk button right here that I have attached to the front of my armor. These are really slick when they work, but like all things knockoff and cheap and Chinese, they will break. Lots of different companies make these. Cavalry, Z Tactical, I think this is a Z Tactical. They are notorious for breaking and having to be rewired for them to function correctly. They're relatively inexpensive. They cost about 30 bucks, but they are definitely not the most reliable setup in the world. And I always have a hand mic as a backup. And I've had about 4 of these now. And once this one breaks, I'm done with it. I'm just going to stick with the handset. But I've had some pretty good longevity out of this one, so I'm hoping it's going to last me a while. That's about all I got on radios and different options at your disposal. Like and follow if you like what you hear. Got any questions, put them in the comment section. Thanks.